Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Nicole Fowler. I am with IU School of Medicine and the IU Center for Aging Research. I'm really glad that you're here today. This is an important topic, mainly because a lot of times when people think about research, their image immediately goes to what they see on the news, where people are squirting liquids into test tubes, or there's somebody laying, having tubes sticking out of their arms, or being experimented on. And actually, while we have a lot of research that spans the types of things that we do, my biggest why is having people understand that you are a partner in the types of research that we do. I'm most interested in trying to understand how to help older adults and those who love them grow old in a way that they want to grow old. And in particular, older adults with cognitive impairment, helping those who care for them in the journey of becoming a caregiver. And oftentimes, I think people think that there's not anything that they can do as part of the learning that we do to understand how better to improve the journey for caregivers. And so thinking about being a partner in the research process is a passion of mine. And in particular, really trying to understand how to work with people to help them not just understand what it means to be a partner or participant in research, but to actually be somebody who is experiencing all of the steps of the research process. So I'm in particular trying to understand how better to have people become participants in research so they themselves can actually contribute to the science and then tell others about the research process and be our advocates or sort of our partners throughout developing new types of research for older adults who have cognitive impairment and their family members.
Hi, my name is Malaz Bastani. I'm a geriatrician and implementation scientist. I've been working on transforming brain health for all, for better, right now for almost 2 decades. In order for me to accomplish that vision, I need to leverage scientific discovery to solve a problem that is relevant for keeping our brain, my brain, your brain, other member of your family, in our community, in our society brain, in a good situation and good health. So science for me is the way to do that. However, science is not walk in the park. Doing research activity is not walk in the park. And we are facing 2 problems that stopping us from leveraging science. Number 1, we need to recruit and retain a human subject into our research discovery to delivery cycle, to discover solution, to understand problem, to predict problem. And that's one problem. The second problem is we need to make sure this recruitment and retention is representative of our entire society, with more specific focus on those vulnerable segment of our population, population who are coming from an underserved area, from minority, and more representative to the typical average person who we are seeing as a doctor in the real world. So in order for us to do that, unfortunately, the past 20 years, that journey is getting worse and worse. The number of research subjects enrolled in our clinical studies is getting harder and harder and smaller, and the representative of these human subjects are getting limited and limited. So I thought maybe the best way to solve this problem is not to listen to experts like myself and listen to my intuition, but maybe leverage insight from the new agile science that's been integrating finding from behavioral economics, from complexity science, and from network science to understand, to predict, and to steer the behavior of a human and the behavior of a bunch of human organized in a social system. So with that perspective, we start developing tools, processes, and strategy, and then more specifically start developing and designing and implementing and diffusing nudges that we can embed in the social and physical environment surrounding our human subject to solve the problem of recruitment and representativeness. If we succeed and make sure that we discovered a relevant, impactful, generalizable solution to the problem facing our country and the world of saving and maintaining the health of our brain, that will have a huge impact personally on my patient, on my family. I am at high risk for developing Alzheimer's disease to my family history. And I have a lot of family members who are currently living with Alzheimer's disease, and some of them might be living with Alzheimer's disease in the near future. So we can use agile science and develop effective evidence-based nudges to recruit subjects that are representative of our community into our research study, retain them, then my future and my family future, specifically their brain health, will be really, really good shape. And therefore, we can live forever with a good brain. Thank you very much for joining our journey. I'm looking forward for you to help us out and figure out the optimization of this discovery to delivery translation cycle in Alzheimer's disease.
Hi, everyone. My name is Noel Campbell, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my why, but I'm going to stretch back first and tell you why I'm so excited to have the opportunity. That some of you know that I'm focused on understanding how medicines affect the brain as it ages. And my work over the last 15 years, roughly, has really led to this point of having a clinical trial that can answer a really important question that we started needing to ask almost 50 years ago. And that question is, do certain medicines potentially cause the brain to age over time and increase the risk of dementia? And it's taken a long time, but really what we've been lacking in this scientific literature is an answer to this question in a high quality prospective study of whether the brain changes as a result of medicine and changes over time, right? Such that we can talk about long-term outcomes of dementia. And starting many years ago, I started working to this point of having this trial, and now we have the resources, almost all the resources that we need to complete the trial. And I am thrilled that we are the ones who get to use this, because we are the ones who get to do this, because we are the ones who should be doing this. And we have all the financial resources, we have all the brain power, pun intended, to do this. But the resource that we're really struggling with are the participants. And we have an amazing opportunity to answer a really important clinical question. And there are people around the country and around the world who are waiting for us to answer this and are excited to see what we find and what we can learn from this. But we can't do it without participants, even not only just recruiting them, but also retaining them in the study. And you know, when we started struggling with this issue with our team, we thought we could solve it. I thought I could solve it. I thought it's just recruitment. Let's look, you know, we spent 6 months seeing our recruitment numbers underperform. And we tried to pay attention to it, but we couldn't solve it. I couldn't solve it. And so I started looking for answers and solutions outside of my own realm of awareness. And this, the agile science that you're going to learn about has helped us, and it's given us at least a short-term turnaround in our ability to recruit and get people engaged in our clinical trial and help us answer these really important questions. So far it looks like it's worked, and I'm really excited to use these tools to help us not only solve these recruitment and retention problems, but maybe even more problems. And so for me, this is really important. It's really an important way for us to get to accomplish these important scientific goals that will help not only the process of our own recruitment and study processes, but also really help the health and the brains of older adults as they age. So thanks for, I'll say again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation. And we've got a lot to learn. We can do it together. And I'm interested in sharing our ideas and what we've learned so far, but also learning from you all and what you can teach us as well. Thanks again.
Hey everyone, I'm Rich Holden. I'm an engineer, I'm a psychologist, and I'm a research scientist. And everything I do is about health by design. So that is my why, health by design. Health because obviously it's something that everyone has, everyone needs help with it. It's one of these lifelong, pervasive, universal kind of things that we all care about. But we want health by design, not health by luck. And so the design part is about meaningful change that's carried out using systematic, scientific, rigorous and professionally done methods. And so in other words, health by design is engineering better systems, not only better systems of health, but also, in this case, better systems of health-related research. Now, the other thing that really drives me is making sure that we do better than default. And the default of design is slow, and it is uninspired, and it is unscientific. So when we talk about next level design practices, we're talking about agile. Agile is more than just speed. It is fast, but it's also a scientific, evidence-based, data-driven approach. And it can be done in a way that you don't feel like you might get fired or you lose face among your teammates. You might even be recognized as a superstar. So agile is about getting things done quickly, but well, and in a supportive environment. I'm just excited about bringing those techniques to folks like you. I hope you enjoy the sessions and contribute to better health by design.